Joining me now is Michael Weiner. Michael, I want to talk to you about the banks. I think the banks are in big trouble. Yesterday, I did a huge segment here on growing concerns about the Genius Act. Here's a great article right here at the Bit Journal. Genius Act sparks fears of bank deposit outflows to crypto. And it goes into the fact that now under the Genius Act, there's more things that are going to allow people to do things that they couldn't do before. It's all under the guise of regulation, but it's also freeing up people. States now are going to be able to do cryptocurrencies. And now we have big companies, even box stores, doing stable coins. And I guess you'll be able to go on there, take your money out of the bank, put it into stable coins, and then use those coins to purchase things with those companies. All of this is encouraging outflows out of the bank. And as I said yesterday, when you're dealing with fractional reserve banking and you take in $1, loan out 90 cents, keep 10 cents, some of these banks are not going to be able to handle this outflow. And as the dollar confidence of the American people decreases, as evident by gold and silver also rising, they're going to say, I don't trust this dollar. And they're going to look to go other places. And of course, how many of these banks can afford to lose too many more deposits before they're in a financial crisis and there starts to be bank failures, which make it easier to merge and roll us into this new system? I got a lot of articles on this, Michael. Here's another one. Genius Act revives Civil War era banking problem for states. And it goes into how these states are now able to create their own little, I guess, coins. Here we have the implications are staggering. While private companies face a gauntlet of federal licensing requirements, 100% high quality reserve mandates, monthly attestations and criminal penalties, blah, 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 state governments can launch competing stablecoins with minimal federal oversight. Talks about the many states from Nebraska to Wyoming that are now doing this. That's just a little bit of what I want to talk to you about. How do you think this is going to impact banks, Michael, and thus your deposits and the average viewer tonight?
This is something that we said a month ago. This is something that I brought up a month ago on the show. Again, Worldview Weekend and Worldview Gold ahead of the schedule. We warned people when the Genius Act passed that there was a hook in there for the banks to convert your money without your permission to stablecoin. Now, I got a news flash for all these people out here. It's not only banks. Any agency that is federally regulated can convert your money from staple to stablecoin. So if you have an account at Merrill Lynch or Edward Jones and they say, here's your dollar value, they'll say, here's your stablecoin value. So this is an epidemic. And it's not something that the banks are going to be in trouble. The banks are not going to be the ones suffering. Ladies and gentlemen, you are. Wes and I have warned you. We have been sending out emails telling people, some people to no avail, to contact us regarding this exact issue. We continually say on the show, as we said for 18 years, even back in the radio, we don't wait for something to happen. We warn you ahead of time. We have been on top of this for the last 45 days. And when I literally sit back and I hear people say to me, well, I call my financial planner, he thinks, oh, I got more degrees than your financial planner. More importantly, let's just put it this way. Did they call you on 2008 and warn you the markets was going to crash? Literally, I tend to doubt it. Because we're not trained to. I used to be a stockbroker, and we are trained to wait till the problem happens because otherwise you'll liquidate. The bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, this banking problem is not just banking. It is straight across the financial world. We are heading into a new financial world. It's like for the older people like me that are archaic, when the phones used to be dial-up, they went to push button, and now we don't even have phones in our house. We have a little cell phone. We don't even keep a phone in the house. We used to go to the video store, Blockbuster Video. Saturday night, it was a big hangout place back in the 80s and 90s. They're gone. The world is changing, but the world financially is not changing in years. In months, it's changing. In the next 12 to 18 months, you are going to go through a metamorphosis. And if you don't create your own bank, and what we said to you is create offsetting with gold to offset the reduction and changes that you will suffer in the banks and other areas, you will not recover as you might want to. This is a warning. Remember the date and time I've said it.
Yep, and we're not the only ones saying it, by the way. There are others, not many, but there are others out there that are trusted voices that I trust in the commentary of finances, doing podcasts and shows on this. Here's another headline. Wall Street reacts to Genius Act as stable coin market eyes $2 trillion growth. $2 trillion. Where's that money going to come from, Michael?
From the people's accounts. You've got to understand who's going to pay for this conversion is not the brokerage firms and it's not the government. It's us. We will pay for this. You'll be docked for this. There'll be just like what's called backdoor money in your mutual funds, where you've got to find out when you sell out, you're paying backdoor money. Google it, ladies and gentlemen, backdoor money. Reality is you will pay for it. They won't. So this is why we're telling you it's going to happen. You can either sit back and let it happen and then try to fix it later. It's like cause and effect. You can either be prepared or not. And we are being prepared by offsetting your position and balancing your estate. You can not only overcome this, you can take advantage of this. You know, it's the same thing when Brandon used to be talking years ago about freeze-dried foods, about the phone systems that we were talking about all the situations that he has brought up, and all of them are on the forefront right now.
Yep.
And he was talking about it years ago.
Yep.
Years ago.
Yep.
And that's why. Go ahead, Brandon. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, yep. And I'll tell you something. I don't know. I'm concerned we're going to have inflation, hyperinflation. How concerned are you about hyperinflation?
I'm concerned about deflation. I think we'll go through deflation.
Do you think we will have a hyperinflation depression?
I think we're going to have a deflationary monetary system that's going to be devalued and revalued. I believe
so. You don't see inflation in some markets and deflation in others.
Now, I see what's more important, which will affect inflation, will be the devaluation and revaluation. What I mean by that is they're not going to, everybody was concerned they're going to get rid of paper money. That's not how they're going to do it. They're going to convert everything you have in a gradual manner, just like in 1971, when we said last week, when they changed your money from silver certificates to Federal Reserve notes, you didn't even know it happened. It just happened. Well, understand the fact that all of a sudden, all of your holdings will be in stable coin. And then all they need to do is readjust the value of the stable coin. And guess what? That affects those dollars in your wallet. And eventually, the dollars in your wallet will disappear because there'll be no need for them. They won't be useful.
But in the process, do you expect there to be an increase in the cost of products and services?
I think it's inevitable when you devalue things, the revaluation is going to cause things to cost more money. I call it revaluation, you call it inflation. They have to revalue at a higher price because the value of your dollar has gone down.
So that's inflation.
It's inevitable. That's inflation.
Okay, so help me understand inflation and depression. How do you see both happening? Because I know there are people who believe we're headed for a hyperinflation depression.
I don't know about the depression side of it. I think there's going to be a new monetary system, and I think that it's going to involve devaluation, inflation, and then a new system. Unfortunately, for people to understand, this is not Donald Trump's idea. The world is doing it. China is going digital, going crypto, the whole 9 yards. Japan is, Australia is, the European Union's doing it. All these countries, the end of the year. European Union is going to be digital at the end of the year. Canada's going digital. Great Britain's going digital. Who's left? India's going digital. So they'll all be sitting back and devaluing their economies, but they are going to be using gold as an anchor, as a sort of value added into their digital money to try to say it's all stable. But the reality is this is going to be a global situation, not just in the United States. That's why President Trump jumped in because either we lead it or we follow it.
Okay,
And
so you are expecting inflation. You are expecting to see everything cost more, right? You're expecting to see the decline of the purchasing power of the dollar, which is why hard assets are important. Land, houses, gold, silver, etc., right?
dollars are going to be chasing staple coins. Staple coins are going to be chasing values, and values are going to go up. Inflation. Inflation. Just remember in 1933 when Roosevelt devalued the money, devalued and revalued, people who didn't have mortgages in 1933, they lost their homes because they didn't have the money to pay the cost to carry. They didn't have the money. They moved into shanty towns that they're calling the middle of parks because they didn't have money. And these were wealthy people. These were people who were comfortable, but they lost the value of their estate. That's why we talk about balance. In those days, they took away your ability to own gold. Now we don't at this present time. And if you own the gold that we've been talking about for years, you insulate yourself.
And that's the numismatic. The numismatic is 1933 and older. Do you see gold? Do you see possible gold confiscation?
If the Democrats come into power, I do. And unfortunately, the people who own bullion and other types of metals, sometimes they say to us, well, you know, the numismatic, it costs more, I can get more. Well, sometimes more is not less.
Okay, let me make sure the audience understands what you're saying. The numismatic, folks, is 1933 and older. Sometimes it comes in a little plastic case that has a hologram on it. It's been graded and it's been certified. Sometimes the grade is not high enough to go into its own plastic case, so you just get it in a little tube. But they're numismatic. They're 1933 and older. And because of that, they're considered collectibles or antiques. And therefore, when you buy those from Swiss America, be it gold or silver, 1933 and older, Swiss America doesn't say, oh, John Smith just bought $10,000 in gold and report it to the government. They don't have to. It's by federal law, a private purchase. So there is no government database for them to go look at and say, oh, go get their gold if you have numismatic. And you can make money, although we're not really interested in making money, we're interested in preserving money. You can see an increase in your investment on the spot price, but also on the rarity price known as the numismatic price. And that might be a premium of $30 on the coin. Give them an example, for instance, a $20 Liberty. What a $20 Liberty gold piece.
$20 Liberty costs 10% more than a gold eagle, and it's worth 10% more than a gold eagle. So it's a wash. And performance-wise, and I was just telling one of our Willowview clients earlier today, it's gone up literally a couple $100 more over a few-year period of time because of its rarity. We don't.
I want you to make sure again. I want you to make sure I understand. You take someone's portfolio who's just gone into straight bullion, just gold, silver, freshly minted gold, silver coins. You take their portfolio, you compare it to the portfolio of someone who went into numismatic, and in the same time period, they're making their investment.
Made more money.
Yeah, they made more money. And you and I have seen that over the years again and again. People will complain about, I don't want to buy that. I'm like, look, Michael isn't selling you this because he's trying to make a higher premium. He knows that you're going to make more money long term on the numismatic, on the spot price and the rarity price. And the thing, too, I understand is if gold were to start going down, it'll go down first in the spot and the numismatic will trail, giving you a chance to get out. But I don't think we have to discuss that in this market.
Numismatics don't drop as much because they have a collectible value, so they trail. The reality is that the Democrats, when people ask what are they capable of, they made gold illegal in the United States of America when we were backed by gold for 40 years. The Democratic Party made gold a felony to own in this country. Do I think they're capable of confiscating your gold? I think they're not only capable, I think they want to. They don't want to just confiscate your gold. They want to nationalize your retirement plan. And that's why we try to protect your IRAs and your 401ks, because they know there's trillions of dollars sitting there. And what better way to capture all that hard dollars by converting it into soft dollars and giving you a credit in your Social Security account. And the only one that benefits, you don't have your wife or your family benefiting from your retirement. The government gets your money. That's what they do in Europe. So right now, Brandon, what the big concern that people should have is we are going through a metamorphosis, and the banks are going to survive because they're going to do what's necessary to us to make them survive. And the ones that don't do that are going to take a hit and won't recover. And the government, at least under this administration, is going to be bailing the world out. This is a very tenuous time. All of these type of things are going to be going into effect in the fall, October, November. And right now, it's sort of the eye of the hurricane. This is a quiet time for people to act and not react and not call us up in all kind of hesitation and hurry. Oh, we got to talk. Well, okay, we can do that. But, to me, I like to be ahead of the curve. That's what frustrates Wes and I. I said it on the show last week. We've been reaching out to people, Brandon, for the last 45 days, telling them about this. I've been sending information to people, and people call me back, well, let's wait and see what happens. Oh, really? Okay, go
and
right
what
ahead.
is it? And what is it you say is coming?
The staple coin situation, the new currency, the revaluation of the world, and a new economic
That's coming
order.
this fall. You think that's coming this fall?
It's everybody signed up. It's going down. If you watched on last week, I talked about the president 3-4 weeks ago on one of the other channels, who went on from UBS Bank, Sergio Armoti stated he's looking at $5,000 gold, and gold will be the number 2 financial instrument in the world, number 2 behind the U.S. dollar reserve currency. And then you also look at the fact that Christine Lagarde, the gal who's the number 1 person at the European Union's monetary system. And what does she say? We are entering a new financial world, and you have to be prepared of how we're going to work with it. The European Union thinks we're ahead of the United States because of Biden. The United States is working on catching up.
And right now, gold is on the air. Is what is it, guys? 33,000.
Right on the air. Right on the air.
Yeah.
34.19.
Over $3,400, $3,419. And man alive,
Correct.
do you remember when we were screaming and hollering and it was $500, $800, $1,000 and telling people this day was coming? And now here we are at over $3,400.
I've got a Worldview Weekend client who's retiring. He put in a substantial amount of money, six-figure money, mid-six-figure money with us. That's now worth over $1.5 million more from when he bought it.
So when he cashes in, can you make sure he sends a donation to our foundation? Since apparently we
will do that. I think he already does, quite honestly.
Okay, good.
I can't mention names, but
okay,
I can tell you this.
But what I'm saying is we have helped to educate a lot of people who've made a lot of money. Because, again, I don't give financial advice, I give financial opinion. But you're saying one of our Worldview guys years ago put in and turned 6 figures into 7 figures.
But owning a physical asset and not paper. And the beauty of it is we don't buy gold. And when we talk to people, we say we're not here to make you money. We're here to secure and protect your estate. As a sideline issue, I've always said gold has outperformed anything. In my lifetime, over the last 1,000 years, gold has gone up since I started in this market 82 times in value. Do you understand? 82 times. For every dollar, it's $82 more. For every $1,000, it's $82,000 more. For every $1 million, it's $82 million more. Do the math. I mean, the reality is they sat down with me, and the only reason I'm adding this, and they said, we're going to retire. They're 69. They said, what can we do to start drawing out some money? I said, well, you could draw out $100,000 a year, or $50,000, a year for the next 20 years, and that's all profit.
Gosh. And of course, silver is now, as we're on the air, what's silver at tonight?
Silver right now is at $39.01. And the United States government just announced, that silver is in a critical position for availability. Critical. They have just stated that silver is now in critical mass, which means that it's looked upon as a critically positioned metal. And the problem is there's a lot of people hoarding it to do a push. And that's basically the BRICS people. They're the ones pulling the chain on this.
So the government is saying that that there's not enough silver for industry.
Absolutely. They are saying that the United States government is basically saying that there is a shortage. I'm pulling up the information. I don't mean to be looking off the screen right now, but the United States government announced, it was 2 days ago, that silver is in a critical position, as it might be. Here it is. Silver has been declared critical. Silver has been declared critical, and the United States government has just reclassified silver as a critical mineral. That was 3 days ago. And the government is saying that there's some short games going on with it. The mining production, 820 million ounces. The demand is at 1.16 billion ounces. The deficit is 340 million ounces. This is no shocker. The U.S. government has elevated silver to a critical status. That's our own government. So when you can buy silver at $39, you're doing pretty darn good. Pretty darn
Gold
good.
and silver about to beeline to all-time highs, according to FundStrat analysts. Let's wrap this up. But what do you see? What is your target again by end of the year with all this going to be happening this fall that you just talked about?
$4,000 gold and anywhere from $45 to $55 silver. I think a lot of things will start rolling forward. We're heading into our year end, and we have to come up with a new budget. And the communists, I don't call them Democrats anymore, the communists are not going to work to solve a problem. They're going to make it worse. And they don't care about sitting back. They want to roll it all forward and just come up with a resolution and not come up with a budget that the government wants to. This is going to be a battle. They want to keep the Biden era activities still available. And what's really interesting is the Republicans rolled over and approved all these people that Biden wanted and approved monetary exchange. And the Democrats fight us on hook and crook every single. They don't let Trump have his people, which is ridiculous. They fight everything that's right for this country. Who in their right mind as a mayor, if I was a mayor of a city and somebody said, hey, I'm going to send some help in to help crime in your city, why in my mind would I say no? Oh, my goodness, these are soldiers. Well, what's there to be embarrassed about an American soldier? Seriously? I mean, this is ridiculous. And these people, this mayor of Chicago, now they're playing the race card. Of course, the race card. Wonderful. That's the race card. I've been hearing that since 1967, and it's still rolling forward. Stop the race card. The race card's old news. What we need to do is come together as people in this country and make our country better for all of us, no matter race, creed, or color.
Let me have you comment on this as we close. U.S. debt crisis unfolds. Treasury secret liquidity moves. What's that about?
The secret liquidity move is about them revaluing gold.
Okay.
Gold right now is valued at $42.50, which is exactly what it was valued in 1933, May 1st. They've kept it at that level for over 90 years. That value and Bassan says we have 251 million ounces of gold, the largest holder in the world. That's like $6.2 billion in value. If we revalue it, it's in the trillions at just to the spot price of gold. And that fills our coffers up. That's what central banks are doing.
And you think they're going to revalue it? You think they're going to do that?
I think they absolutely will revalue it.
And they're going to put it at what, 4,000 an ounce?
Well, no, they will go with whatever the spot price is in the market. But that puts the United States back in the gold business. But if it's at 4,000 an ounce by the end of the year, that's what they would put it at. They would have it at 4,000, but that'll help make it 5,000, what UBS is saying. China's putting gold involved with their currencies. They're all using it as a stable position.
And you think that will rocket gold up higher in price?
That's why B of A and JP Morgan said $6,000 gold. I still say when Trump leaves office, I know Jim Rickards is saying $20,000 gold. That's if the Democrats get in gold. I think it'll be $6,000 to $7,000 when Trump leaves office. And, you know, people could say we're crazy, but if I told somebody back in 2008 when gold was $448 an ounce, hey, guess what? In 17 years, gold's going to be $3,500. They'd start laughing at me.
Exactly
Literally,
right, they would.
Laughing at me.
100%. 100%. All right. Get your free packet, no obligation packet from Michael Weiner and Wes at worldviewgold.com. Worldviewgold.com. Just fill out the quick little form, hit submit. You'll get a free no obligation packet of information, or you can text Wes at 602-558-8585. Get your free no obligation packet. Times they are a-changing. We don't get financial advice here, you get financial opinion. My opinion is you should do your due diligence and get the free packet. Have a great Labor Day, Michael.
You as well, sir. I look forward to seeing you in a month.
Yeah, us too. Wow, he went off quick, didn't he? All right. He hangs up every time that fast, doesn't he? All right, that's our broadcast for tonight. Before we leave here, folks, again, please remember we're brought to you by you. Check out all of our sponsors at worldviewtube.com/sponsors, worldviewtube.com/sponsors, worldviewtube.com/sponsors. Roll the music. Let's call it a night. Hey, don't forget about getting your solar generator, getting your satellite phone. Did you know that they're selling over there at Worldview Talk a ton of the Faraday bags? Put your stuff in to keep it safe or to stop people from tracking you. Apparently, there's a huge spike in sales of that. Tina texted me about that today. She'll be back with us next week. WorldviewTalk.com, or use their phone number, 1-866-738-3224, 1-866-738-3224. And then again, don't forget about registering for our fall conference, Friday night, October 3rd, Saturday, October 4th. Be with us here in beautiful Cotterville, Tennessee. Otherwise, get a membership to the vault, whether monthly or annually, and you'll be able to live stream it. worldviewtube.com/vault, worldviewtube.com/vault, but get your tickets at worldviewstore.com. May God save America. Take care.